So Chad, do you remember the first time we sat down together, or at least a first impression?
Was this when you picked me up in your BMW?
I don't know.
I think it was.
No,
yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, we were both at the Town Place.
Yeah.
The old Town Place suites is where we all the Vikings
You didn't
stayed.
drive? Did I pick you up?
No, you picked me up. You had that sweet BMW. I had like $1.
I remember having like a good conversation with him, like, oh, this guy's great, like good personality, fun, like laughs easy, like this is gonna be great. But you made me feel bad a little bit because you knew every freaking stat you've ever had from like high school to college, and like, I don't know any of my stats. Like, this guy's railing off like, oh, I remember this game, I had this, you know, this championship game
It's
in
called
high
having
school.
a giant ego, Ben. A giant ego about yourself.
You can call it whatever. I'm like, what's wrong with me here? Like, do I not care about stats? I don't have any stats to talk about it, I guess. I'm like.
So I've always kind of been a stat guy anyways, like when it came down to like when I was a kid memorizing like all the player cards and stuff. And then,
Yeah.
So then it kind of became that thing with me like only caring about myself and being selfish, which is perfect.
Well, you know, my brothers and I used to trade baseball cards, and they always duped me because I thought a high ERA was better. No, yeah. You'll take this guy. He's great. Look at his ERA. I'm like,
Whoa,
oh,
that's high.
9.83. That's awesome. I'll take him. Here's my rookie cards.
Yeah, that's great. Well, yeah, that's what siblings are for.
I know.
So, but the one thing for me was when I finally got drafted, it came in. You know, it's kind of a, in your mind, thinking back, it's like a mad rush to get to like that point where you're going to training camp. You go through all the off-season stuff. You're going to OTAs and things are moving really fast.
Yeah.
And then we go to training camp, and I walk in and realize that we're roommates. I don't know what from your perspective, but for me, like being a young guy that they obviously was a first-round pick and had a lot of expectations, they obviously put me with you for a reason.
Right.
And I can remember that. I remember our first dorm room we were in Gage, and we were on the end, had the big room, beds on the floor, air conditioner, you know, hanging out the window, and I was just starting something beautiful.
So you ended up peeing on me in one of those.
So explain how that would happen.
Yeah, so that sounds really bad. But basically, you know, we're so lazy that we have beds on the floor, and I took the bed over by the sink because every room had a sink. Well, and because we were on the end of the hallway, the bathroom was in the middle of the hallway, which is a long walk at 3 or 4 in the morning.
30 steps.
It's like 30 steps. You know, we don't want to take those 30 steps though, right?
Not in training camp.
Not in training camp. So everybody basically has to pee in the middle of the night at some point in time. And we had an agreement, like, just go ahead and just pee in the sink. No big deal, right?
Same sink you brush your teeth in.
Same sink you brush your teeth. But yeah, but who cares at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I remember in the middle of the night, you get up and you're standing like, it seems like right here. And obviously your back is to me because you're peeing in the sink. And I just remember feeling the splatter on my persons. And I'm like,
that's the most disgusting
dude,
thing ever.
You're peeing on me.
You probably didn't even say anything. You probably just rolled over.
No, I think I did just roll. I think I just like took the blankets and curled up and rolled over like this and just had it all like, you know, blocking me.
Now thinking back, like I'm sure our wives are just like watching this, just like this is the most disgusting thing.
Yeah.
But they probably realized that at that point.
Were your feelings hurt? Honestly, were your feelings hurt after, because we were roommates now for your first year, so Childress wouldn't let us have your own rooms on the road during the regular season until year 4? So there came a point though where you got your own room, and I'd already gotten that seniority because I came in with 4 years. But we just ended up being roommates anyway because I like you, I enjoyed being around you, and I enjoyed being roommates with you. But we came a point where like, dude, we're old enough. We're like, we don't really need room.
This is getting awkward.
Yeah, and I remember I broke off.
Yep.
I divorced you.
Yep.
Or we got divorced.
Yep.
And then it was like maybe 2 or 3 games in the season. You're like, you can't do this. Like,
well, here was the problem.
Okay.
Hurt my feelings. Probably less that, more the fact that I had a room with somebody else. So the problem is that you could go off your own and have this beautiful room by yourself and quiet, but I then had a new roommate.
That's what it was.
And then at that point, like I was a starter. Like I went to somebody, maybe I can't remember who it was, and was like, "Can I just get my own room early?" And that got shut down.
Probably like Luther or something like that.
Yeah, I went to Luther. That got shut down. So that's when I came back to you, like, dude, we got to do something here. And then I think we actually roomed together.
We did
for like another year.
I felt bad.
So like for that year, but then the next year coming back, either something changed or I could get my own room or something. But yeah, so probably a little bit of feelings hurt, but more the fact that like who I had a roommate with was just miserable.
Yeah. Because
So we
you
go
and I
from
were in
like,
sync. We liked a dark room. We wanted it cold. Like
Yep.
we knew like basically after bed check. Like we know that sleep is important. Like
Yes.
we turn off the lights and go to bed. Right?
yeah, you have a noon game. I mean, you're in the bus by breakfast by 8:15.
Yeah.
You're on the road getting to the stadium by 9. I mean, you're up early and rolling. So like, but not everybody has that perspective. I found that out the hard way. But then like moving fast forward, when I got my own room, I realized that like I should have sent you a text and been like, dude, I'm sorry because this is amazing.